To all the black people that are so outraged by this whole gingers are black now trend, y'all seriously need to go heal from whatever hurt you got going on. We're starting to create unity in a time of major separation right now. Ever since the trend started, I've been watching some of these TikTok lives, and you have angry black people in the live talking about, oh, we're always letting other people into our space, and the redheads need to stop calling themselves black, and this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, yo, who hurt you? Listen, the gingers are fully aware that their white privilege still exists. They understand that their experience is nowhere near the hurt, harm, and discrimination that people of color have experienced for over 400 years. But they can also relate to being bullied and not welcomed in social circles. They know what it feels like to be stereotyped and inappropriately mistreated. They also know how it feels to not be accepted by their own people or to be good enough to meet societal standards. Black people, we can say we don't care all we want, but gingers now feel seen, heard, and accepted, just like we've been trying to do for years. Y'all have to understand, this is true black power. We are bridging gaps and bringing people together. We're creating more allies in spaces that we didn't even have before. I really hope that this continues to grow into something that changes the world. With all that being said, welcome to the family, my ginger brothers and sisters. Also, quick PSA to the LGBTQ community, the goth community, and the neurodivergent community. You guys are loved, seen, and welcome to the family as well.
So this gingers are black trend, well, it's not a trend, it's a movement. You know, I'll be honest with you. I started out, you know, it was fun, funny, still is, having a good time, but it's not a trend. You know, I'm seeing that it's not a trend. I made a video the other day, and it was right after I started, you know, posting to this account, and I was like, I've already got like 175 followers, and we're almost ready to hit 2,000 now. So I want to say thank you and appreciate you guys, all my new family members that I've got now, all my cousins. So this is not a trend; it's a movement, and you guys are making somebody feel special. You know, you're not just coming in the comments and just being like, hey, welcome, you know, this and that. You're like very uplifting, very encouraging. And it's something that, you know, you don't see a lot in most cultures, or at least in, you know, the culture I've been a part of. People coming into your comments and just lifting you up, complimenting you. You know, and it's nice, and you know, and I want to reciprocate that. I'm not big on like commenting and this and that, but I want to do better. I want to do better. So, thanks.
For those of you who are not able to understand why the gingers are black thing went super viral, I am here to tell you. If you're going to be a hater, please politely leave. If you are a redhead, you know how it feels. Being called fire crotch, being called carrot top in school, just being shouted at out of car windows just for simply existing and having a hair colour. People saying, I'd rather be dead than red. Notice who these comments actually come from. It is never a black person. I have never faced any sort of comment from a black person. It has always been white people. This is why us redheads and black people connected so well, because they had our back. They understood the pain and the distraught that we all felt throughout our whole life, because they have faced it times 10. When this went viral, it was a way for us redheads to connect to one another and another community that were able to understand our pain. It has been a wonderful time to be able to connect and understand that people get it.
Welcome, gingers. Or should I say gingers? We don't be using that hard R. This has been a long time coming. I've always liked the redheads. Some of the greatest black people of all time are redheads. Malcolm X, Blake Griffin, Bill Burr. Some of the top niggas of all time is redheads. Welcome. This seems like a very strategic coalition, actually. I'm glad this is happening. There's strength in numbers. Right? Because you think about it, black people invented woke. Redheads have trouble falling asleep under anesthesia. You're literally woke. You're genetically woke. So, that's, probably Irish or Scottish. Not a big fan of the Queen of England. Neither are we. So I feel like, just look at what we have in common and form coalition. I agree. Also, I like this strat. Maybe we need to bring on the Cambodians too. Because this is a very SoCal coded joke, but Cambodians, they're Crips, and they be at a Hawaiian barbecue with neck tats. Those are black people.
I feel like we should be paying TikTok this week for emotional healing, like true therapy for us gingers or ginjas. I guess we're nixing the hard R. This has stirred up so much emotion. It's just been kind of this big joke amongst white people, but I don't actually know that they know what they were doing. My parents even. It started when I was born. My parents are loving. They love me. They really do. But since I can remember, I was probably 3 or 4 the first time I heard it, and I've heard it multiple times. When my mom was pregnant, because I'm the only redhead in my family, and we have a very large family on both sides. The only redhead. I was told while my mom was carrying me that my dad said, I don't want it to be a girl, and if it's a girl, she better not be a redhead. And my mom said it so nonchalantly, and she just said it like, oh, but we love you, and look how you turned out, and you're beautiful, and we're just so happy you're here. But from the get-go, from birth, I had been told that what I was wrong. What I wasn't wanted. So at a very young age, before I even know who I am and what I am yet, I was told that I'm not normal. The first time I ever heard, does the carpet match the drapes comment, I don't even think I had carpet yet. So I was very confused. I had to ask someone what that meant. And it was from an adult who asked me. And then I got it from other kids who also shouldn't know what that means, but they had heard it from their parents or from older people. I mean, the number of times I've been asked that in my life is... And this is what I'm talking about with other white people. They didn't understand. They didn't understand what hearing that kind of shit means. Now that I'm much older, I'm much more confident, and I just don't give a shit anymore what people think. But here's the kicker. It still never went away fully. I have a 4-year-old son. He is now the second redhead in my entire family. So I was the only one. Until I gave birth to my son, I only have one child, and he is a redhead. This is the fucked up part. When I was pregnant, I was saying the same shit. Fuck, he better not be a redhead. And my first fucking words when he was born, when the doctor asked, oh, who's the redhead? Because I was a C-section, so I couldn't see him. My very first fucking words when my son was born is, oh man, I was disappointed. It makes me so mad that I did that because I know how much it fucked you up. And he's the most perfect child. Just thank you for validating us. That's all it is. It's just, I have never felt so validated in my own skin since this week. So I appreciate you.
Child, I done woke up on this side of TikTok where the gingers are back. Or shall I say black. Listen, I did not know that they was treating y'all like this, baby, but welcome. Welcome to the community. I love this for y'all. Few things I need y'all to know. I need y'all to know the ER, the hard ER, done. Don't let them call you that no more. You are gingers. You hear me? Gingers, okay? No more ginger, all right? Next, we don't let them touch our hair. That beautiful, gorgeous hair of yours, somebody try to touch it, back the hell up. Don't touch our hair. We don't do that, all right? Next, y'all want y'all invite to the cookout. Y'all got it, baby. But let's ease on in there. You know what I'm saying? Don't be trying to cook nothing. Bring stuff, that's like forks, plates, cups, foil, things like that. But I'm excited. We outside this summer, baby.
All gingers are black. Where was this energy for Halle Bailey when she was Ariel, though? Lock the doors and bar the fucking gates, because I don't remember a single ginger person calling Halle cousin. I remember them saying, not my Ariel, not my Little Mermaid. They were the most pressed group of people harassing this young woman online all over social media, berating her, being racist as fuck to her. Okay, so I know people are going to say, it's a joke, Melissa, take a joke. You're being so serious. When you give people an inch, they're going to take a mile. And you know what? This trend is very telling, because if you ask a non-black person what their favorite thing is about black people, you know what they're going to say? They're going to say, oh, I love that they're great hype people. They make me feel cool. It's all about how black people embrace them and they love it, right? But the embracing doesn't go the other way around. You have people that want and love to be welcome to black spaces, but they don't want to welcome black people into their spaces.
I know I don't have a horse in this race, but I feel the need to clarify when people say that all gingers are black, what they're really saying is there is an intersectionality between black people and gingers, because gingers are at the bottom of the hierarchy within whiteness, because white supremacy is stupid and made up. What they are not saying is, oh, if you're ginger, you have permission to go around and say the N-word and perpetuate all these racist stereotypes and say that you're gonna go to the store and get milk. No. That is not what they are saying. I was actually very pleasantly surprised to see that most redheaded folks participating in this trend are being respectful. But it's the internet, so of course there has to be a few shitheads to ruin everybody's fun. So yeah, just a reminder, don't be racist.
The gingers are really going through it. I didn't know. I did not know you guys were going through it the way you've been going through it. I don't even know if I refer to you guys as gingers, as the redheads, as our cousins. I don't know, but hi. I have watched video after video of ginger people, redhead people. I'll just call you lot cousins. I have watched video after video of our cousins literally talking about how they have felt so excluded and isolated, how they have been insulted, how they do not feel like they belong anywhere. And I'm like, is this really what's been going on? I mean, I know that don't like us, but I didn't think they didn't like you like this. This is crazy. Yes, I know Sinners told us to not invite anybody in. Yes, I know that, you know, it's very controversial to be inviting anybody to the cookout. But can you guys have your own cookout? Can there be a ginger redhead cookout? And then like maybe we could like pop into that. I don't know. We need to figure something out, because I have learned so much. I have gained so much insight into the experiences of ginger redhead people. And I am shocked that you guys feel like this. Like, it's absolutely insane.
If you're brand new to the gingers are black phenomenon, I'm here to orient you as quickly as I can. At the beginning of May, a black woman creator on TikTok said, "Gingers are black," emphatically, and then made a case for it. And then a bunch of black creators were like, I co-sign on this. Absolutely they are. Gingers are black. And a bunch started making genetic arguments, historical arguments. Like, people, if you really go down the rabbit hole, you will see there's actually quite a lot of overlap. But even all of that aside, a lot of people in the black community said, they're black because we say they are. We have adopted them into the family, and that's that. We love them forever. We ride for them. That's it. And then all the redheads were like, yes! Someone picked us finally! We've been bullied our whole childhoods, we've been made fun of, we've been made to feel a bit different within the white community, and now there's like this group that are appreciating us so deeply and so heavily and saying that we are beautiful and lovely and, you know, to hold our heads high. They're renaming us, so instead of Ginger and Carrot Top and Fire Crotch and all of those other awful nicknames that we've been given, they're like, you guys are Red Velvet kings and queens now. Cinnamon Kisses. I'm trying to think. Some of the nicknames are so adorable. And redheaded people came out of the woodwork, like a lot of them posting their very first videos ever, telling their stories about how they were bullied growing up as a kid. Because there's only 2% of redheads. We're very conspicuous. Now, yes, do some people compliment our hair? Absolutely. But do we also get targeted and bullied, especially as children, when, you know, they look for anything to go after you for? A lot of us had some bullying, and some people had some intense bullying, especially like if you go back a few generations where like bullying in general was worse and the violence was allowed within the classrooms, but it's still happening today. And so we were sharing our stories, and a lot of people in the black community were like, we had no idea that this was going on to you. And honestly, I don't know if this isn't really talked about. This was something that I think me growing up as a redhead, I just kind of expected the comments as just part of the redhead experience. It's like, I guess I just gotta take this. And the fact that the black community was like, oh no, this is not okay. Like that's the first time that has been so emphatically stated over and over again, that this is awful and heartbreaking and should never ever happen. And so these black creators doubled down and they're like, oh my gosh, especially if this is what's been happening to you guys, you're in with us now. That's it. This is not a trend. We're serious. We're bringing you into the fold. And the redheads were like, we accept. We're so excited. Where are we meeting up? Now, I want to be clear that the redheads are hyper aware that we are white-skinned people with all the privileges that come with that. And I think us redheads are humbled about the outpouring of empathy and sadness and outrage coming from the Black community about what we've been through when we know that our individual bullying doesn't even scratch the surface of like the generations of systemic violence against the Black community. So the fact that they are highlighting our story is, we are humbled by it, and we are so ready to give back as much as we possibly can. We're like, okay, we're all now family. How do we ride for our family? How do we help grant access to our family now that anything they couldn't access because of white supremacy or white privilege or all of the systemic discrimination and biases? Like, how do we start to be part of the solution of dismantling that? Because we know it's kind of a radical thing to say gingers are Black. I know it sounds outrageous to people the first time they hear it. And that's kind of the point. Because first of all, the concept of race is socially constructed and made up. And all of it was created to uphold white supremacy. But if you think about it, like these categories of white or Black, I mean, look around you out in the world, all of the variations of complexion within the white community and all of the variations of complexion within the Black community or the biracial community. Like, the fact that we just tip people either Black or white and then treat them differently accordingly is crazy. And it is arbitrary. There were moments in history when the Irish immigrants coming over were not considered white. And in fact, they actually lived amongst people of all different colors and backgrounds that were also being oppressed, subjugated, discriminated against by this white majority. So if they were doing that in history of changing who's white and who's not, whatever, why can't we do it now? So if the Black community says the whitest, palest of you guys are now Black, we've just decided, and if we accept, okay, it starts to subvert this whole stupid thing that we call race. Cultural identity is real. Our histories are real. Our ancestry is real. Okay, so I'm not negating any of that. And I think we each need to celebrate that within ourselves and then celebrate other people's and learn about other people's ancestry and history and all those things. So it is more of this, the concept of race as it was created to promote and uphold white supremacy. That's what we need to subvert. In terms of each of our individual differences and the things that we bring, we're going to celebrate and highlight that and hold space for that and not encroach on each other's stuff and not co-opt each other's culture. You know, it's none of that. It's just love. Now, I will acknowledge that this has been a kind of triggering thing for a lot of people on every side of this issue. I know us gingers have been treading lightly because we are aware of the generational trauma, and we're floored like you would trust us to come into your homes given what Black folks have been through and all of the betrayals that they have experienced of white folks promising to help or do something and then not helping and not following through. So we are really aware of that. And, you know, anyone who's having a hard time with this, especially in the Black community, we give so much respect to that, and we don't blame you. And for the white folks that are triggered or upset by this, I really ask you to do your research, dig into the history of race relations. If you're like, this is crazy, gingers can't be Black, this is going to stretch your mind. This is going to break our brains a little bit in a good way. Because I guarantee you it's the people that are like, I don't see color. Everyone's human. I don't see color. Those are going to be the people that are the most upset by this. And if color doesn't matter, then why can't we be Black? What's the difference? If we're all the same, then can I call myself Black? And could a Black person call themselves white? Self-identify. If you have a hard time with that, it's because you want to be a part of a system that wants to put people in categories and oppress them or privilege them accordingly. But I want to get back to what's the heart of this whole phenomenon is just radical love. Even though there's parts of this that are kind of, I think, stirring the pot a little bit, I hope for people to think deeper. Honestly, at the core of it, it's just pure love. This is not like a fake thing. People are genuinely like pulling people into their families. I've spent all of this whole week since this has popped off in DMs with people, exchanging phone numbers. I've been FaceTiming with people. I've been collaborating with people. We've been founding foundations and charities and organizations that are going to serve underserved populations. We are leveraging our networking and our knowledge and our experiences, and we're putting them all together to do greater good in the world. Meanwhile, also, like, loving on each other and getting to know each other. I genuinely have some new amazing best friend level people now as part of my network and in my contacts. I have Black aunties texting me every night saying, I hope you sleep well, sweetheart, like, praying over you, love you. And they're genuine, and I'm texting it right back. Thank you, auntie, I love you so much. May God bless you and keep you and shall you, just like, all of it, right? It is just an absolute love fest. And of course, here or there's been some people trying to ruin it. Like, some people who just have, like, too much fear or hate or whatever in their hearts to, you know, be a productive part of this movement. But by and large, it has been this outpouring of love and support. And I'm just so grateful to be a part of this kind of moment in history. I know that it might seem like a small thing, but I do think this is going to be something that ripples. Already I've been getting messages from people in South Africa, from people in Australia, from people in Europe, from people in Asia, being like, hey, can we fly into the US to go to a cookout? I'm Ginger. Like, they're organizing their own get-togethers and cookouts and everything. So this is going to ripple. It's also going to go beyond the Black and redheaded community because love benefits everybody. So please, even if you're not in either community, boost these posts, give love to it, because this is a love revolution and everyone will be brought into the love fold of the human family. And then find ways to get involved. If you're not a ginger or a Black person, find a way to somehow get on this train with us.
I don't normally make videos like this, but with just how great this past week has been, being a redhead, I just thought I just wanted to get out how just amazing this has been. Every video I've seen, whether it's been from, you know, a fellow ginger or you know, a Black person like shouting us out or anything like that, every time I see one of those videos, I'm just smiling ear to ear. It's been so just amazing. Like, I feel like there's a part of me that's been healed that I didn't know need healing, you know. And you know, I remember being a kid and like wetting my hair to the point where it'd get more like brown looking just because I hated having red hair. And you know, even with like other redheads, like I don't have like the stereotypical look for a ginger. You know, I got the red hair, but I got, you know, blue eyes instead of green, little to no freckles. I even have blonde eyebrows and eyelashes, and you know, there'd be times where like other redheads would occasionally be like, "Oh, you don't really count. You know, you're like your own thing." And to like, you know, I mean, I don't want to compare having a different hair color to racism, but to be seen and to like be accepted by a whole nother community, you know, a whole nother culture, it's been real nice. And you know, ever since the one video that the girl posted about like how all gingers are Black, you know, it's like, you know what, like hell yeah, you know, I don't know, it's been real great. And even like going from being called Carrot Top, you know, Rooster Head or whatever, to like Red Velvet or Autumn Kissed, like come on, like it's been so nice, you know. And like, I don't know, like especially, you know, how understanding like Black people have been, like, you know, they get it, you know, like from being a kid being asked like, do the carpet match the drapes, like, you know, oh, I don't really like redheads, but you're one of the good ones. And it's like, you know, it's, man, it's been real nice. It's been a great week. It's been very, just so unifying. And I don't know, it's been just great feeling appreciated and understood. You know, like it just overnight going from being soulless to being soulful, you know. It's been great. And you know, I just much love to all my fellow redheads and black people. It's been yeah, I just can't shut up about how nice it's been every time I see a video. I swear. It's been so great, and I'm so thankful. It's man. But also one last thing. Does he count too? Does he count?
So I want to share two positive stories about how the Black community has impacted my life and my family's life in the past, and this goes back long before this beautiful unity movement started. So I think it's important to share that these connections have been there for a long time. I think just none of us were talking about it. I just thought my family was odd because my mom was a redhead, I'm a redhead, my brother's a redhead, I've got several aunts that are redheaded, and my dad's mom was a redhead. We all supported each other, and you know, through all the bullying that redheads get, we knew and we had each other. But I also lived in a neighborhood that was very poor, and there was quite a number of black people in the community, so I was surrounded by that. And I don't know how my father turned out to be the racist, abusive person that he is, but in the end, my mom separated from him when she was about 60 years old. She finally got away from his abuse, and she was on disability. She couldn't work. Her health was going down. She didn't have nearly enough support, and by that time I was living in Texas, so I was coming home to try to help her as much as I could. But there's, you know, I was limited because I was already starting to have my own kids, and I couldn't be there for her all the time. But you know who was? The black ladies at the local black church would show up for her all the time to help, and they would show up for her every Sunday, dressed to the nines in their beautiful dresses and their hats, and pick her up, because at some point she got to where she could not drive anymore, and they would pick her up and take her to church every Sunday. And she needed that community. She needed, you know, to get out and be social and not just be alone in her house and sick and all that. And she would gush about how kind those ladies were and how much they showed up for her. And I wish I knew what church it was or what any of their names were. I would, you know, send them my personal thanks if I could. But wherever you ladies are, I'm just going to say thank you, because my mom needed that more than you know. And eventually, you know, her health went down, and I, at that point, had moved up here to New Hampshire, so I came down and got her, because she was developing dementia, and she couldn't take care of herself anymore, so I moved her up here with me, where I could take care of her. But I still had to take care of her house, and so I went back to Louisiana to try to sell her house. And when I got there, her health had been in such state that she had just let it turn into a hoarder house, and it was just full of so much stuff. It was overwhelming for me, and I didn't have any help because, you know, she had separated from my dad, so none of his family was going to show up to help. And most of her family was scattered to Texas by that point. My brother was in Texas. He couldn't come up and help me. So I was on my own for 2 weeks. That's the only amount of time I had to try to clean this out so that I could get back to New Hampshire and my kids. And I needed to get the house sold, and I was panicking on how I was going to do this in 2 weeks, and I just started tearing at it right away and putting bags of trash out. And Joe showed up, an elderly black man. He I don't know how old he was, but he was older, and he was kind of known in the neighborhood as kind of the junk dealer. I knew that he would drive around and pick up trash for years and go through the people's trash and sell it, which is sad, but he showed up because he saw me putting all this stuff out on the curb and asked me what was going on. I talked to him. I said, yeah, hey, here's what's going on. And that man showed up for me every day for 2 weeks, the entire 2 weeks. He'd show up bright and early, and he helped me clean out that house. And all I asked was that, you know, he let me get the personal stuff out and let me sort it, and everything else he hauled out for me, and I let him have all the furniture and knickknacks and said, yeah, go sell it at your junk dealer, wherever you do that. Like, I could not be more grateful, because I didn't have time to go deal with trying to rent a dumpster or sell any of that stuff. I just needed to get the house cleaned out so that I could sell the house. And I was just amazed at his kindness and how hard he worked, that he showed up and he was consistent and he prayed with me and he showed up for me in so many ways when I really needed it. So Joe, wherever you are, I'm just forever thankful for you as well. And I've got more stories to share. I could probably share a bunch more, but those have been some of the more recent ones that were really impactful. And I think they're just beautiful examples of how the Black community is so kind and loving and shows up for us, especially for us redheads. And I can't say thank you enough through all my life for the times y'all showed up for me. And I love the fact that this is becoming a national movement so that everybody can see it and everybody can see the beauty and kindness and grace that you give all of us. So I just wanted to share so that everybody can enjoy those two stories, and I'll share more later.
I know, isn't that crazy? Thank you for this. I actually did not know the history of redheads. I did not know my own history. Because of this whole movement, I'm going to call it, because this brought unity. This was beautiful. I'm going to read this. The history of redheads right here, like unbelievable to me. Before we get started, stretch your screen, tap the button down here in the right corner for 2 times speed. Throughout history, red-haired individuals have faced significant discrimination and persecution, particularly during the witch trials in Europe, where they were often associated with witchcraft and tortured for their hair color. Witch trials and persecution. During the witch trials in Europe, particularly in the 15th and 16th century, red-haired individuals were often targeted for persecution. It is estimated that around 45,000 red-haired women were tortured and executed for witchcraft in Germany alone. The belief that red hair was a sign of witchcraft stemmed from various cultural myths, where redheads were associated with the devil and believed to possess supernatural powers. Cultural beliefs and myths. The association of red hair with witchcraft can be traced back to ancient beliefs. In medieval Europe, red hair was often seen as a mark of the devil. The redheads were thought to be capable of witchcraft due to their rarity. The infamous witch hunter Manuel Malleus Maleficarum, or Farcrum, identified red hair and green eyes as signs of witchcraft, further entrenching these stereotypes. Y'all, I'm a witch. Historical context. The persecution of red-haired individuals was not limited to witch hunts. The various cultures, redheads were often viewed with suspicion and fear. For instance, in ancient Egypt, red-haired animals and people were associated with the god Set. While in medieval Europe, redheads were often depicted as deceitful or untrustworthy. The Spanish Inquisition also targeted red-haired individuals, believing their hair was a result of stealing fire from hell. Modern perceptions. Today, the stereotype of redheads as witches or evil beings persists in popular culture, often portrayed in literature and media. This historical context continues to influence perceptions of red-haired individuals who may still face discrimination based on their hair color. In summary, the history of redheads being tortured is deeply rooted in cultural beliefs and myths that have shaped society's perception of this unique hair color throughout history. Another fun little fact, red-haired mummies have been found in many different parts of the world, including Egypt and Peru. Some theorize redheads expanded across the globe after residents left Atlantis and carried on their tradition in Egypt, Turtle Island, and Easter Island. There is also a legend about Prince Idon of Mu, supposedly the first redhead. It is said that his red hair was the result of seeing a sunset in Atlantis. Well, fun stuff. Another one. Redheads were thought by some to have been conceived during unclean sex. Basically, having intercourse during that time of the month. This belief was primarily held by people back in the Middle Ages, but some unfortunate redheads still suffer taunts based on this connection. In the early 20th century, Scottish anthropologist and folklorist James Fraser's book, The Golden Bough, stated that red-haired men in ancient Egypt were burned alive as a sacrifice for the god Osiris. Their ashes were then scattered across the fields using winnowing fans. He suggested that Egyptians did this to fertilize their fields and to increase their harvest, or possibly to make their corn turn red or golden as it grew. In medieval Christian Europe, red hair was often associated with witches and witchcraft. Between 1500s and 1660, it's believed that as many as 80,000 suspected witches were slain in Europe during a period of extreme witch hysteria. Title of that one is Redheads Are Witches. Redheads don't have souls. The legend that redheads don't have souls and can actually take other people's through eye contact was made even more well known by South Park. There have also been rumors that red-haired people sold their souls to the devil to spread sin and serve the Dark Lord. Redhead Mikey Kittrell became Kittrell, I think you said, or Kittrell. I apologize for the mispronunciation. Became known as the Gingers Have Souls Kid and YouTube sensation after recording an angry video message to fight these beliefs. Wow. Redheads bring good luck. Okay. Some superstitious people believe that rubbing the head of a redhead will bring good luck because of their hair color. Because their hair color is so rare. You're joking me. Don't you touch. Don't you touch. In Poland, it's said that if you spot 3 redheads at the same time, you will win the lottery. Oh my God. And in ancient Rome, red-haired enslaved people were more expensive, particularly due to the belief that they would bring their owner good fortune. So we were slaves too. Holy shit. Redheads are aggressive and hot-tempered. Since red is often considered the color of passion, fire, and danger, it is sometimes used to associate red-haired people with tempers and sharp tongues. A Russian proverb states, "There was never a saint with red hair. Satan is often depicted with red hair." Oh, as a sign of moral degradation, even the French view redheads as hot-tempered with the proverb. Redheaded women are either violent or false and usually are both. What the hell? Redheads are more sexual. Again, related to red being a color of passion and love, red hair was once thought to be the mark of moral degradation and heightened sexual desire. No, that's because we feel more, actually. We feel more pain and we feel more pleasure. Those are other facts that I already knew. That's why we need more anesthesia, too. Mary Magdalene is often depicted with red hair in paintings. Even in Michelangelo's Temptation, Eve is depicted with red hair after she is kicked out of the Garden of Eden for realizing she isn't wearing clothes. Last but not least that I could find this time, redheads are on the endangered species list. Frequently, rumors circle the internet that redheads are in danger of extinction. The Oxford Hair Foundation has been cited several times for creating these rumors, but was found to be funded by Procter & Gamble, who products include hair dye. Oh my God. There were also rumors that climate change will kill off all redheads due to the effect more sun would have on their genes. But this story found to have been stated by a company that traces ancestries online. So yeah, lots of lies, lots of myths, slavery and witchcraft, persecution, death. Wow, I did not know all of this. Like, that's crazy sauce. Thank you, friend. You sent me down another rabbit hole. The history of redheads is not well known, is it? Well, there's some history for you guys. Have a beautiful day, my beautiful queens.
So I haven't made a video yet, but I just want to thank whoever the person was that started this gingers are black thing. And of course, I don't actually think I'm black, but I am so appreciative. All the stories I've heard, all the things that other gingers have said, I can identify with 100%. And so this makes me smile, and it actually took my mind off the state of our country with Dumpy Pants being president. So I also want you to know that I will do my part. I will come for some people if they come for my new cousins and my new nephews and nieces and everyone else. So I have a crowbar and I will use it.
Hey, are there any, like, Portland area, or more specifically the Dallas, gingers or black folks who might want to get together and have a cookout? See, I belong to this coalition, and we're actually planning cookouts around the country, legitimately, like making packets for people to plan them and like how to host an event and shit like that. But there's none. I can't. Are any of y'all around here? Okay, bye.
I genuinely cannot even tell you all how happy I am that gingers are black now. It just, I don't know how I didn't think of it before, because it makes so much sense and it makes me so, so happy. Like, I've been seeing people defending us online. I'm like, I never realized, I don't think I ever consciously realized how mean people had been in the past, because it was just, that's just how it was. And like, now that I see other creators saying what people have said to them, I was like, oh wait, people have said those things to me too. And I just like didn't even clock it. But it feels so good. But so my question is there like a code word or something? Like, if I'm out and about and somebody is not as chronically online as me and hasn't necessarily seen all of the like gingers are black now videos, is there like a code word or something, or a phrase, so I can like let them know that I'm part of the fam now? That's what I want to know.
When I was 10 years old, just 10 years old, I experienced my first suicidal thought. My mom never healed from her childhood trauma and took it out on me and my sisters, especially me because I was the oldest. She would self-medicate, and I was stuck crying myself to sleep most nights because of her abuse. When I heard the song Many Men, those words, a black man saved me by just simply saying, joy wouldn't feel so good if it weren't for pain. And so when I was 18, I got Joy Wouldn't Feel So Good If It Weren't for Pain by 50 Cent. He got me through my childhood. This sounds so silly and dorky because I'm a little white girl, like, and I grew up a little bit of everywhere. Sorry. We owe so much to the black community. So many black musicians have saved us from our darkest days, our darkest times. Whether we are invited to the cookout or not, they have already done so much for us, for me, and I just feel like I owe it. I owe it to them. I owe my life to standing up for equality. Sorry, I've just, 've just spent the last few hours at work just like crying about this. But I just want to say, I love you guys. 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 I love you and I'm in the work parking lot right now, so I'm trying not to lose it. But I know this is cringe. I get it, and I'm not sorry, because we have to talk about how Black people have saved us. We have to talk about how they are an asset to us. This isn't a redhead thing. It's just convenient. It's just it just so happens that I'm a redhead. But they have helped me through so much trauma, through so many sleepless. Mary J. Blige, Dr. Dre, Eazy-E, Nate Dogg, Warren G, Nas. Oh, Nas actually helped me cry. But the rest, they wiped my tears at night. They did. They rocked me to sleep. And when that song from the original Nas, Blunt Ashes, comes on, every time it comes on, with the exception of one time I was able to hold it together, I cry every single time when he talks about his son died and he made a ring out of his son's ashes, and now he can watch his sun shine every day. My dad was cremated, and I've always thought about doing that with a piece of jewelry. I think we all need to get on here and pay our respects to the Black community and cut ourselves open, pour ourselves out, and be as vulnerable as they have been. And we all just need to connect. We all just need to be human and cringe. Forget the edits. We don't need to pile on a bunch of makeup. We don't need to get all fancy with it. We just need to get on here and share our stories and try to show compassion for each other. Please. Not Nas' son, the OG Nas, the guy he was rapping about, talking about his son. Just for clarification,